Okay, welcome. Today, I'm going to share with you how to easily and effortlessly deal with any problem in 3 simple steps with spirit. Okay, so my name is Gavin Weber. Welcome. This is my YouTube channel called The One Mint. The One Mint, quickly, is a oneness movement. And I'm helping people remember, teaching oneness, how to love, how to awaken, how to experience the best possible life you can have on this planet within your mind. And on that note, on today's topic, problems. Now, I created a post on Instagram today on this very topic, and there was quite a response. So I thought I'd create a video. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, I invite you to do so. The One Mint. It's THE.OneMint. And here's what happens with problems. Something happens in our life, and we look at that as like, we judge it as something we don't want to have happened. And hence, we then describe that as we have a problem. And immediately our minds, when there's a problem, want to go and fix that problem. We want that to go away. We want to feel better about the situation. And to take a step back, there is no problem. It's all based completely on our perception of what's happening. And there's other videos I have created, but how we look at things is we don't understand what's really happening. And so based on the past, based on our beliefs, we think something has transpired, our eyes see something, and then we automatically make the assessment, jump to the conclusion that how we're viewing whatever seems to be happening is accurate, that we think that how we're looking at it is the right way and is what really happening. And first of all, I'm here to tell you that that's not true. Like, what you think you're seeing, what you think you're understanding is not really what's going on. And that everything out here is an illusion. So when you think that you have a problem, first of all, it doesn't really solve the problem to think that you don't have a problem, because you believe that you do. Eventually, you can get to that point. But how to easily and effortlessly deal with that problem is step number 1 in this. And this is all going to seem like very simple, and it is, but it's your job now not to figure out the problem, not to fix the problem. What caused that perceived problem happened because of you already. So it doesn't make any sense to go about, like solving an issue, solving a problem with the same thinking that got you there. You hear the definition of sanity as like doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Well, ultimately, that's what we're all doing every day. And so if your thoughts, your beliefs ended up causing this perceived problem, then the way you're going to try to fix it is using that same thought process, which makes no sense. So step number 1 is, it is not your responsibility or your job to fix this problem. Number 2, and this is where it can get difficult for people. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you're on the spiritual path. There's words that people associate with the past, or they think they know what it means, and they've had this experience, and so automatically it comes to some thought or feeling. Yet number 2, the second thing to do is to hand over your problem to spirit. If you're a Course in Miracles student, it would be recommended to give it to the Holy Spirit. If you're just a spiritual student, not on a Course in Miracles yet, it could be called guidance. It could be called angels. It could be called even intuition. There's all kinds of, but you're basically, the mindset is giving it over to a higher self, outside of like the body that you think you are. A God would be a great thing to think that you're, giving this to. But ultimately, the idea is that we are not our bodies, and that we are mind, and we are thought, and we are beliefs, and then this is what we see is the consequence, the result of all these beliefs. So when we're giving it over to our higher self, to spirit, okay, essentially we're acknowledging that we don't have the answer and that we don't understand the situation, and that we're kind of the reason why the problem popped up in the first place, right? So it's this acknowledgement, which is very powerful. Number two, when we hand it over to spirit, it also is showing your willingness, okay? And there is, like in willingness, there is the word will. So you're opening up your will to another possibility, to let go of like an attachment of what you think should happen. And of course, in miracles, like the Holy Spirit needs that invitation, because it's like you're joining with your oneness. You're joining with love and God in that willingness, and understanding that like there is possibility there beyond anything that you can imagine and see and experience. Again, letting go from like that you have it all figured out. So that willingness is crucial. That acknowledgement is crucial. And further reason why that's so is you're then starting to have faith. You're starting to trust that there is an answer that you can't see. And that would be step number 3, is then to just let go from any expectation, from anything needing to happen, from you needing to do anything to solve this problem, to fix this problem, to get through this problem. That once you have realized, number 1, you were the problem that caused it, so you shouldn't be trying to figure it out. Number 2, giving it over to spirit. And number 3, having that trust that the highest possible good will transpire. And then you detach, and then you just get to sit back, and you don't have to like worry about it anymore. And what's happening in that process, I know in the beginning when you do something like this, it seems so foreign. It seems like how I've done things in the past is I've had to take action. I've had to make something change. And really what we're usually doing then is we're not solving anything. We're not healing anything. We're not figuring anything out that matters. We are perpetuating the same thing to probably likely happen in a different form and just burying it. So it's such a release and so much healing in what we're doing with trust and faith, and knowing that it is going to work its way out, however it's going to work out, that taps into our power. That taps into miracles. That taps into like, this confidence that what we think is happening in this world, there's so much more than what we understand. And then it becomes very fun, because usually the outcome is so much different than we could ever imagine. And it's so much better, and it's so much more fun, right? So the more often you do this, the more it's like freedom. It's this relief that it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have to figure this out. And I don't have to like have the answers. And oh my gosh, when I give it over to spirit or to God or to my angels, or however you want to look at it, that like how it's then dealt with is unbelievable. I don't like to say the word magical, because it's like what's happening is like you're tapping into reality, not this world we think we're making, but being reminded and reconnected with our absolute truth. And it's also wonderful to know that like you're not alone, and that like you're way more powerful than you realize. And that word that I keep talking about is that oneness, is that source, is who you really are, is that connection to the universe, to the quantum field, to that energy, to God. And that willingness is allowing that to then unfold and take care of everything, because there are no problems. Everything is perfect. You are within the light. You are love. You are perfectly safe and peaceful right now. And that problem that you think is happening is the distraction, is your ego comparing, finding fault, attacking, judging. And when you let go of that and open your mind up to a new possibility, a new way of seeing it, and like that you don't need to solve that problem, a whole new world begins to happen. It's very cool. And you could say that the fourth step would be to then remember as often as possible, like, oh, here's a problem. I'm late. It's out of my hands. Like, hand it over to spirit. Don't try to figure it out. Every problem that you perceive, give to the Holy Spirit, give to spirit, whatever word you want to describe. And then watch. And occasionally you'll be directed and inspired, not like feeling like you have to, but inspired to take certain actions. There might be something that, like, a thought pops into your head, an idea of like, oh, this is something. And if it feels downstream, it feels good. If it feels like something like, capable. But most times it doesn't look that way. It can just dissolve forever. And that's kind of the final thing that's really cool, is when we try to solve our problems ourselves, those problems usually continue to pop up in different ways. And when we give it over to spirit, that problem is done and gone and dissolved forever, because we kind of see the illusion of it. We see that, like, oh my gosh, it's just gone. Like, I didn't have to do anything. And then your mind realizes, like, we're making this up. We're causing these pains. We're causing these trials and tribulations. And within me is that happiness and that joy and that love. And I don't need to have it go a certain way in order for me to experience my truth. So, wanted to do this quick little video in my office. I usually do stuff in the garage. I have my little website over here of the 1 Mint. Go check that out if you haven't. I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel. I'm going to start doing 2 or 3 videos. Have a podcast out that's longer, designed to be listened to. But if you have a problem, follow these 3 steps and whoosh, back to who you really are. Much love, my friend. Bye-bye.